For the longest time, I thought watering my plants more often meant I was taking better care of them. Grab the water can, make the rounds, feels like a good plant parent. It turns out that exact habit was the thing slowly killing them. If your plants keep struggling, no matter how attentive you are, there's a real chance you're overwatering. And today, I'm going to show you how to tell and how to fix it. Here's the twist that makes this so sneaky. An overwatered plant and an underwatered plant can look almost exactly the same. Drooping, yellowing, sad. So your instinct, you see a wilting plant, is to reach for the water. So before you water anything today, let's learn to read what the plant is actually telling you. Let's start with the signs of overwatering. The clearest one is yellowing leaves, usually starting with the lower, older leaves, and they often feel soft or limp rather than crispy. Crispy brown, brittle edges, those tend to point toward underwatering. Soft and yellow points toward too much water. Next, look at the base of the plant and the stems. If the stems near the soil are mushy, dark, or a little squishy when you press on them, that's a bad sign. That's tissue that's been sitting in water too long. A healthy stem should feel firm. Then there's the soil itself. Stick your finger in. If the top couple of inches are still wet, several days after you watered, your plant is sitting in moisture way longer than it wants to. Bonus warning sign. If you're seeing fungus gnats or a little fuzzy mold on the soil surface, that's the same story. Constantly damp soil. If you caught my last video, you already know how those two problems are connected. And the big one, the one you smell before you see, root rot. If you ever slid a plant out of its pot and the roots are brown, mushy, and smell kind of sour or swampy, that's root rot. Healthy roots are firm, usually pale or white. That smell is the plant waving a little white flag. So how do you fix it before you make things worse? The simple tool you already own is your finger. 1 to 2 inches into the soil. If it comes out damp, wait. If it's dry, then water. That one habit alone would have saved me dozens of plants. You can also lift the pot. A pot that's still heavy is still holding water. Over time, you start to feel the difference between a pot that needs water and one that's just fine. And you stop watering on autopilot. Now let's say the damage is done and you've got a plant that's clearly been overwatered. Here's what I do. First, stop watering, obviously, but you actually have to resist the urge to move it somewhere with decent light and airflow so that the soil can dry out. Not blazing direct sun, that'll stress it further. Just good bright light. If it's really waterlogged, I'll remove the root ball, spray it with a peroxide mix if you feel that root rot has set in or you're concerned that it might. Transfer into a dry, chunky mix, then allow the soil to wick away some of the moisture surrounding the roots. And if you slide it out and find rot, trim away the mushy brown roots with clean scissors and let it dry and repot into fresh, well-draining soil. Sometimes the plants that we purchase at the store can be suffering from overwatering even before we have a chance to have them in our care. Whether it is me that does it or I bring it home that way, I will assess the damage and act accordingly. I want to be honest here. Not every overwatered plant makes it. I once tried to save a Norfolk pine from an after Christmas sale that was very badly overwatered, and I tried my best, but to no avail. Even though I transplanted a nice chunky mix, it still succumbed to the effects of overwatering, sadly. But a lot of them are far more forgiving. than we give them credit for, if you catch it in time. The real fix, though, isn't a rescue technique. It's a mindset shift. Stop watering on a schedule and start watering on the plant's terms. Your plants don't care that it's Sunday. It cares whether the soil is dry. Different plants, different pots, different spots in your home all dry out completely different rates. So it's almost guaranteed to overwater some and underwater others. Check first, water second. That's the whole game. If watching this made you realize you might be the overwaterer in your plant's life, hey, welcome to the club. Tapping like helps me make more of these judgment-free breakdowns. Now, if you're watching this because you keep losing plants and you're starting to wonder if you're bad at this, you're not. You might just have the wrong plants for where you're starting. I'm rounding up the houseplants that genuinely forgive your mistakes, the ones that are almost impossible to kill. So if you want to win to rebuild your confidence, start there. I'll see you in the next one.